All right, guys, welcome back to the return of another live show. It's been a while. I know. I took a little break, much needed. A lot of things have actually happened and stuff. Some pretty interesting things. Um, but for the most part, we're just jumping right back in to the swing of things, jumping on that saddle, riding again. Um, I think like a lot of people, who are in the thick of it with the Bigfoot stuff. It can be draining sometimes dealing with a lot of the crap that's out there. Really, just the bullshit stories, the fake videos, and the people who are really in it for themselves, have no integrity, con artists trying to sell out, make money, and all that. And it's frustrating. I think there's a couple of other researchers out there that we've seen recently kind of say this and make suggestions that they actually might retire out of the subject and stuff. You guys don't have to worry about that with me. I'm not going to retire anytime soon and stuff. I do apologize for being taking a little break for so long and stuff. It really wasn't really on purpose, but taking some time off the shows, a little bit here and a little bit there, it kind of added up to the point where it's like, you know, being able to enjoy some of these nights and stuff instead of doing the live shows, to be able to go out in the woods or hang out and do other things. It was very enjoyable. So I was gonna say, hopefully my mic's working and stuff. You guys can hear me. It'd be a pain if not. But so yeah, but I've been basically just doing my thing. Actually, been trying to work and save up money to buy some pretty new equipment and stuff, mainly more audio equipment like we have and just purchased, and we got of course a thermal, and then we're saving up for a documentary camera, more like maybe a Canon or a Sony, and then we'll be start shooting some more high quality stuff, really upgrading and stuff. And so really that's been about it, but been in the woods and stuff, collecting hours and hours of audio, of course filming with the older equipment and stuff. um, Big flashlight, battery bank. um, and I was actually going to go live in the field tonight and have this studio show tomorrow night, but I've been climbing up in trees and stuff um, yesterday and today and stuff, and got some good blisters and stuff, and working up a sweat, and I really didn't feel like walking to the woods tonight. So I think tomorrow night or Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, we are going to be out in the woods for about an hour or two, really, right after sunset, and they're going to be thermaling chunks of woods and different stuff. And I actually might even set up in a tree. We're gonna climb a tree and stuff, be all saddled up and in a tree, but we'll be actually scanning with the thermal over top a cornfield, especially when that cornfield gets about 12 feet tall. So here, when it gets closer to October and stuff, later September, it's going to be a good vantage point to be able to see what's hiding in that cornfield instead of trying to walk through the maze of it and stuff. So it's pretty exciting to be able to do that. Um, so I think tomorrow night or Monday or Tuesday and stuff. It really just depends on what happens tomorrow, to be honest. Like I said, I kind of planned on it for tonight, but we switched things around. But we got a schedule lined up. We're going to be regularly back in the studio for shows. We got some kind of shows like this where we're shooting at the hip. I got some videos ready and stuff. Potentially, maybe have the link for for someone to come on tonight. Potentially, but we got other shows that are more dedicated to like discussions and stuff of so underground tunnels and stuff around the world, and weird, odd other cryptids and creatures and new Bigfoot videos and things like that sort of stuff, topics, theories, and all that. So I'm excited and stuff because being back, talking about Bigfoot, going live, and all that. Um, it's nice and stuff. I really did miss it. But every once in a while, you got to charge yourself and do other things. And concentrate and really, honestly, come back to when you come back to this sort of thing, you feel amped up, better, more energized, and ready to go and stuff. Because the subject is full with, well, bullshit, honestly. I mean, let's just put it out there. Everyone knows it. I mean, there's Bigfoot. I know Bigfoot's real. I've experienced this stuff. But for the real most part, there's a lot of bullshit and bullshit people that muddy the waters. And honestly, it is draining to see, especially with the, and we're going to get into it as we show some clips of this and stuff. This creator content phase uh, of making content on YouTube, but especially involving the cryptids, ghosts, UFOs, and just scary haunted places to kind of a stuff of this niche where it's all about trying to make content to make money, and whatever that niche is, people are going to exploit it. Basically, people who have never really had an interest or speck of interest of Bigfoot all of a sudden are making all these contents and trying to get as many views as they can. Not even part of the community, just straight up content creators, all these young kids out of LA and stuff like that. But now they're jumping on the scene, making videos and giving opinions as if they've been doing this for a long time, and it's not like trying to make a cash cow out of this awesome subject that we love. Glad you're back. I'm glad to hear from you, Bigfoot Truth. Have you been to active areas? Always in active areas, actually, all the time. Every week, I'm actually in the woods, and I even have experienced stuff while at work on a piece of property while we were cutting trees and stuff. And I will go into that. I guess I could do it right now, but I'm going to kind of go and finish my spiel about the idiots like this. I just saw these idiots, what they called the complete documentary about the Sierra Sounds. Guess how long it was? 12 minutes. Gosh damn morons are abounding. And there's people who are just, making content just to make content for the views and to get money, and doing the short form stuff. And these are people who are not even in the Bigfoot community. These are, like I said, they're more like, what they would call like influencer podcast type of people, terminology and stuff. They're not Bigfoot researchers in the Bigfoot community who are just making YouTube videos and, say that these are like influencers who are jumping into our subject because, there's a whole host of people, and a lot of people love this kind of weird stuff with the thousands of views and hours watched from different YouTube channels and history channels and Netflix and all the other documentaries and on Tubi and all this other stuff. And that's what it kind of is. A lot of it is catchy subtitles, catchy thumbnails, spooky music, jump scares or potential of jump scares, really. And hunting for the Loch Ness Monster, almost attacked by a dog man, Chupacabra jumped out of a tree at us. And all of it is just mediocre bullshit. That is, nothing is even happening. It's more like people like cosplaying Bigfoot researchers out there, and then, they're making the scary video. It's all about making the content creation for the views and their perception of what they're trying to get out of it, which is not Bigfoot research, not to study the subject, not to actually be out in the woods and have interactions and then try to have interactions without pissing your pants because you're scared that you're about to get your head ripped off by a 600 to 1,200 pound animal that could easily do it with about one hand, as we'll demonstrate. We'll see. We'll look at other comparisons of animals that are going to show you exactly what could potentially happen if you piss one of these creatures off because you did the wrong thing, or you try to be a cool content creator and you have no idea what you're really doing out there. You're just out there filming. Yes, yes, and that's the other side of in our, I would say, our sphere of the Bigfoot community, of actual people who are invested in it more than the views and the subscriptions and all that, but actual researchers and experiencers and believers and people who are, trying to be in it. Honestly, there's a lot of tribalism and group thought and echo chambers of. I mean, there's some groups that you can't laugh react, or you'll get banned and stuff, and you know everything's real. Every story from a person's real. That person has value. That person should be safeguarded because um, they have a truth that deserves to be heard, and you can't make fun of them because you think it's bullshit. Because any number of fucking things, like Bigfoot or Dogman protected someone and then picked them up and carried them home, kind of stuff, or the magical things of Bigfoot whispering through the television, to letting them know, oh, if you camp out in this area, we will be there. Or there's a lot of variation in mental illness, and social um, lack of social relationships that this, I guess, would bring a spotlight on people, that you could be a superstar if you have a Bigfoot encounter, that you are really good at talking and you come on. There's other people who I think are complete bullshit, who got into this with a complete bullshit evidence and kind of a hoaxing that they presented at one time and then moved on and never talked about it. And then, play host. You can play host and stuff and get some cred, right? Now they have their own show and they're doing the thermal footage at the LBL and stuff, right? I think Pat did a show on that. I'll give you a little hint. There's other channels that are complete just bullshit storytellers. I would put Dixie Cryptid in this. I mean, he's just content creation. He's admitted that it doesn't matter if the stories are real or not, or I think he might even make some stories up, or he at least changes it up to fit his narration style, right? I mean, how many Bigfoot stories can people have, right? Before you run out. And then there's always a new one, always a new one, always a new one, always a new one. And with AI, Chat GPT, or whatever you want, give me 1,000 Bigfoot stories with original content from all 50 states. But bing, done. Done. There's no substance, there's no evidence, or emails. I got it through an email. It's not going to do anything for us who are actually trying to prove stuff or have evidence. Or I know there's people who would who want to study sightings, and Sasquatch Data Project, shout out to her, where she is studying the BFR reports and actually running it through her own AI algorithm. But that's all relying on the reports being 100% accurate and genuine. And when other people are listening to Dipsy Cryptids or any other dozens of shows that are email story channels or whatever, without a face to actually put to the story, we don't know if that information is legit or not. And then when you write data or reports, or you try to get stuff off of that, I mean, it's fake. So, but there's a lot of awesome people out there who I believe have had Sasquatch encounters and have evidence and stuff like that. And it keeps me going. Of course, my own encounters, my own experiences, and all of that. But You got for every real researcher who's actually just doing it and wants to do it with some integrity, there is probably like a dozen bullshit people or more who just fake stuff, in it for the money, in it for the fame, talk. It's whatever. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming out. Yeah, I mean, we can always talk about Bigfoot and your sightings and your encounters and stuff, but without evidence, it's just stories and stuff. Especially when those same people, or I would say, some of the hoaxers we've exposed and stuff last couple of years. When they go out in the woods and all of a sudden they have all this stuff happen with very, very, very minimal evidence, only eyewitness detail from a whole group of them. It's like, come on, guys. If nothing happened, nothing happened. I can say that on my break, there's a lot of nothing really happened, guys. Otherwise, I'd probably be jumping and making all sorts of different kind of content and videos about something that actually happened, right? There's some little stuff, right? But it's not definitive. And I think there's a lot of stuff that's adding up. Of course, there's a lot of audio I have to really go through. And I have to admit that I haven't really gone through a lot of the audio. It's kind of been piling up, but it shouldn't take that long, really. About a whole day or two, I would say. And there's a lot of, big shows that are, inviting bullshit people on as if they're legit, real. And, like the Squatch Watchers, we've exposed them a couple years ago. They're just the most funniest fake stuff that you have to laugh at because, like picking up a rock that on camera that you're filming and then throwing up a hill and it rolls down. You're filming this. You look at your buddies, the other Squatch Watchers, and then you're like, caption, did a Bigfoot do that to try to distract us? And then, when you're invited on like, say like Doug Hychek's show as legit researchers, either, I mean, it's all bullshit. It's all about making money, but like, there's no people actually doing the work of like, damn, are these guys legit or are these fake? And there's a lot of bullshit out there. And so it is draining, it's tiring, and you can call them out. We could spend a whole nother hours and hours and hours exposing people, and there'll be 20 more that pop up. So the best course of action is just do the legit thing, real thing, have fun doing it, and fucking present the evidence. Because, I mean, there's all these stories and oh, go and camp out, and this happened. They got all this equipment, but they didn't fucking do anything with it. Or they have a blob squatch on the thermal because, you got to pay the money for a good thermal, but you really don't know what you're doing with the thermal, and you think everything that shows up is a Bigfoot, like a deer. And I think I should have got that video ready, but Pat did a good job on looking at the LBL thermal footage, and I should have showed it on here, but I'm fairly confident that what they captured is not a dog man, but is a deer with a snout and ears that's looking at them. And people will say, well, deer have eyes on the side of their head. Okay, yeah, but a deer will look straight at you, and its eyes are big enough that in a thermal or night vision camera, it will look like it has eyes in front of its head. So that's pretty simple, especially when it was standing there for 20 minutes looking at you like a normal deer would look at you. Till you got closer, they would run away. And then, Pat talked about how, this whole story erupts from seeing a deer, in my opinion, seeing a deer standing there looking at you for 20 minutes and then running up this hill, and all this imaginational stuff starts to happen because that's what you think. You got a dog man looking thing instead of a deer. I don't remember them actually looking for tracks or finding tracks, other than probably deer tracks. So let's get into a couple things because if it was an actual dog man or actual Bigfoot, and they walk up to this fucking thing, it's gonna have a totally different reaction than a deer just gonna like skipping away. And it's like, would you go after a bear in the woods after dark trying to film them? I think a lot of people would say no. A lot of people would say hell no with a grizzly bear or a brown coastal bear, right? What about a black bear? Do you think you guys would willingly go after a black bear that would try to film it and stuff, and not have any issues with that? It's standing there for 20 minutes. Let's walk up to it. There's a lot of dangers and stuff out there. And I know a lot of people are like, well, black bears are nice. They're not that worrisome. They run away from people. They're cute and cuddly. They climb trees to run away from you. While grizzly bears and coastal brown bears are much bigger and definitely will kill you much faster. Brown bears will actually stalk and go after you more so than a grizzly bear who spots you. And then, although most of the time black bears do run away, there's occasional times, documented times, where black bears go after people, especially over in India and Asia, where we have the sun bear variety, which are almost identical to black bears, and they're a little smaller, of course, and stuff, but and they're pretty vicious, along with the sloth bear stuff. So when you're out in the woods, that blessed my ears off. 1 minute. And you think about, I want to go after a Bigfoot and stuff, but you wouldn't want to go after a bear. Just imagine the power and strength that a Bigfoot can do when a cute cuddly black bear can do this. So let's just look at some of the power that we have from black bears. Yeah, black bears are really nice out there. Cute and cuddly. They'll run away from you. Yeah, they're not danger at all. I tell you what, one of these things starts coming at you like this, getting on top of you, biting you, and ripping your face off. I don't really think you're going to be thinking, man, it's supposed to run away. Animals and these creatures are not always going to react to how we think or assume and stuff, especially with wild animals, especially black bear. A couple years ago, me, James, and Tyler were actually walking on the road after we got done kind of Bigfooting at night, and we were 10 feet away from a black bear we startled each other. We were walking on the road. It was right there off of the road, 10 feet away from Tyler. And luckily, this thing didn't go after us. And we were talking and stuff. We weren't being quiet and stuff, but it just shows the dangers and stuff that you do face out while being out there. Especially if you are alone and you come across a bear with cubs and stuff. Obviously, she's going to come and she might come mess you up a little bit. But also a black bear, depending on if it's injured or it's old and stuff, might see you as potential prey. And that has happened where there's a black bear who actually attacked 5 teenage boys. I think it was in some Midwest state, but actually ran after them, and they split off and targeted one of them who wasn't able to get away. And of Of course, it will wrestle you down and it will devour you because these things, even a 150-pound black bear is going to have just much greater strength than me or you. And then you have 200-pound black bear, 300-pound black bear, and we've been in places where there are 500 plus pounders in Michigan confirmed in these areas. And you go, Tennessee and some of these southern states, you have these big bad boys who do roam around at night, nocturnally and stuff, and they're really quiet. And they are pretty curious and kind of smart sometimes. And they also can climb trees and stuff. And you might actually have a pretty young bear who's not very mature, who's curious of people and playful, who, might try to play with you, but also might get hyper, and that might turn into a more predatory kind of response because it doesn't know any better. Obviously, the danger of humans and stuff. And if people are doing something to egg it on, feeding food and stuff like that, it really changes the mentality of these animals from their wild, supposed to be scared of humans and return the other direction mindset. Yeah, bear spray definitely works. Well, kind of most of the time. I would say that if you have nothing, it's obviously better than having nothing, right? Um, but statistically, handguns stop 90% of bear attacks. And it doesn't matter really what handgun you have. The stats show that just having a handgun, shooting it, loud bangs, and all that, 90% of the time will stop bear attacks. But killing a bear and stuff, that's a whole nother different caliber graph setup. But pretty much, you want to be armed, especially by yourself, because there are, unfortunately, circumstances where people go missing. Animals do attack people, even little animals like raccoons and squirrels. We'll for the next show, we'll pull up some squirrel attack videos of them running up and down a person, biting you, and raccoons crashing out. Bigfoot Juice says I had one go crashing through the woods the other day. I just treated it like a non-incident. You could hear it breaking the trees, and I stayed on the trail and filmed it. That was all. And most of the time, bears stuff will definitely just do that. It's just every year, every once in a while, they don't do that. And there's a lot of dumb people who try to pet bears and try to film them, and just like when they get close to buffalo, it's like, okay, you really have no survival instincts, do you? And we'll actually show some of that. I do have some kind of funny animal attack videos later, but not the squirrel variety. I'm in Michigan, the Great Lake State, or the Great Lake State, I guess. Yeah, so I do most of my Michigan. Yeah, I'm kind of behind the chat, so let me catch up. From New Hampshire, Michigan has a really good conservation program for its use of the state. I can tell you were raised right in the forest at that. Some people are just city slickers at best. Yeah. We do actually have a pretty good conservation program, although our DNR officers and lawmakers, law enforcement, are kind of petty when it comes to like deer season and stuff. You guys could watch the speech that Ted Nugent gave to in Michigan about hunters and the DNR and just some of the travesties and bullshit that deer hunters and everything else we have to deal with. And it's like in Canada, where they banned people from going into the woods over in I think it was like Nova Scotia or somewhere on the eastern side of Canada because of the wildfires, that you totally are banned from going into the woods or doing anything, or you will be slapped with a ticket, a fine, and potential jail sentencing because they said so. And the reality is they're going to smack you with a $25,000 ticket. And they even told residents that who lived in the woods that they can't go in the woods. They shouldn't do that. Because wildfires, because, nature, and maybe other people who are starting the fires on purpose. I'm sure that they would listen to the same people who are telling them that it's wrong to start fires in the first place, but I'm sure they'll listen to them when they say, don't go in the woods. It's kind of mediocre clown world bullshit. But I think that could potentially happen in the United States with wildfires, with, endangered wildlife, or, you can't bring firewood up in like the UP and stuff because of you bring in bugs and stuff that will eat up the trees and stuff that are up there, or different fungus and bacteria and all sorts of stuff. But at a certain point, it could totally just, you're not allowed in the woods anymore because Bigfoot's discovered. It's an endangered species. And until we figure it out, no one could go in the woods anymore, or at least shut down all the recreational parks and wildlife areas, right? Now it's just Bigfoot zones, and you totally can't go into it. What do you think would happen then? That is one potential outcome if Bigfoot is discovered and the lawmakers and government decide that's what is best for you and me. We're not allowed to go there into no national parks anymore. That's why you can't hunt in there in the first place. But now that it's disclosed, right? That's potential. That is potential, huge swaths of land that you never can go in again because Bigfoot's endangered and it needs it. Which I don't disagree that Bigfoot probably would need protection and land and stuff, but for people to not be able to go in there and stuff, when we already go into the habitats already, and we're already doing all this sort of stuff, and officially there's no conflict officially, it seems kind of pointless to kick people out. All right, so let's get through all the comments by Bigfoot Truth, who's doing an awesome job. And then awesome job distracting me from the videos I'm supposed to be showing. But I'm having fun. Then we're going to show the videos and talk a little bit about some more stuff. Harkinen State Park. I didn't bring a gun. I probably should have anyways. But I don't have a concealed carry. Yes, the people and you meet on the trails could potentially be more dangerous, and statistically are more dangerous than the Bigfoot or bear in the woods. People are statistically going to be more dangerous for you to be interacting on a trail than Bigfoot, most definitely than Bigfoot, but then a bear or other animals. And the reality is, for the most part, if you open carry a gun on the trail, you're probably just going to scare other people. So, you probably have the cops get called on you. In your state, I'm not sure the gun laws. I'm not sure if you could open carry like that. Some states are kind of petty and stuff like that, but you might have the cops get called on you. But you might as well get the concealed carry, especially if you already got everything. You might as well go through it. That way you don't have to worry about it. But that's much my opinion. I can't give you legal advice, of course. Oh, okay. It wasn't a bear, dude. I heard it whoop. Awesome. Yeah, bears, I wouldn't say make a whooping sound, right? I don't think I ever heard a deer whoop, right? The reality is they're not fighting the forest fires the way they should. The federal funding has them sitting back and letting it burn. Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff. A lot of weird stuff out there. maybe we could do a whole nother show on Rumble talking about all the weird, crazy stuff that seems to be happening, that's going on, and craziness that's taking place in our government with hoaxes and lists and who knows. Right? It's all the same. Anyways, got some more videos to show. We'll show some videos. Yeah, so 37 minutes. Don't mean to be playing this. Don't mean to be playing that. But we got a couple more videos, then we gotta load up some more, and then yeah. So, people really experiencing Bigfoot a lot, over and over and over and over again, interactions, like feeding them in their backyard kind of stuff. And you miss if you were actually feeding Bigfoot in your backyard, you should be able to get them on camera, especially if you start missing a feeding or something, because they're gonna act out. But just being in the woods next to Bigfoot,
take a video, and sit
this.
down. Sit down. Those four. Take a video.
So what do we say?
And sit down. Sit down.
Sit down.
Should I call him?
Take video and sit down, because if you don't, he's gonna kill you. So what are we seeing? We're seeing displays of strength, displays of trying to get you out of the area, really, and stuff. So Sasquatch is reported of doing this. I've actually had this happen to me when we were in Allegan. You can watch Allegan Part 1 and Part 2, the expedition, where the Bigfoot actually were kind of doing some of this stuff, bluff charging, smacking, shaking trees, displays of stuff that we were able to capture on film and audio and stuff.
Should I call him for you?
Look how scary this
looks. He's coming.
Yeah, so if you've seen a Bigfoot face freaking running at you on all fours, I don't think you'd be like, oh, let's just sit down and be safe, right? But we know gorilla pretty well. So let's watch that again. Watch his face.
I called him.
Look how scary that thing would look.
She's here.
It was a Bigfoot.
She wants you.
And then it's a kind of a younger gorilla.
Wonderful video. You got it?
Maybe a male.
That's
how fast the Bigfoot's gonna come at you. That's at least as fast as a Bigfoot's gonna come at you. Now, in my opinion, Bigfoot's gonna be a lot faster. Can be running on two legs to be faster, or it's gonna be on all fours, and it's gonna, like that thing, it's gonna plow into you like a linebacker and smoosh you into the ground, and you know. But look how fast it just disappears into the brush. It almost like disappears. I love watching gorilla videos because that's the closest thing that we have to compare to like a Sasquatch, body-wise, weight-wise, and strength-wise, and what they do and how magically they just disappear in the woods. And of course, they're all black, right? But they just disappear like instantly. So when you're out there and you're trying to push the limit, like we've done before, like in Allegan, chasing after these things. They ran the other way. They've run and like jumped and smacked a tree, jumping down a ravine into a creek, throwing rocks at us, running after them. Then they come back up to us and are running after them again, calling out to them, breaking sticks, calling out to them with Native American phrases, them swiping the ground, kind of a thing, where we see like the first gorilla kind of demonstrated more than these charges. So let's play like right here. This displays. I've had this stuff happen where it's grabbing stuff, it's smashing the ground, it's It's doing something and, taking off, charging away. I mean, that's how a Bigfoot's going to go. It doesn't matter what's in front of it. A bush. Bushes don't matter. It's just going to plow right through it. A thorn bush? No. So can you imagine just mouth open, running all fours, spider crawling up to you? I mean, I probably going to be honest. It would be very hard not to piss your pants or probably faint over and die because seeing that coming down a hill, being twice as big, because frankly, gorillas have the top upper half of, like, say, a Sasquatch, but that whole lower half, Sasquatches are completely different from the hind legs down, and actually their chests are completely different than gorillas. Gorillas are like barrel chested and stuff, but their heads, I would say, with the craniums and the crest, they look kind of Sasquatchy. Their arms, right? The chest and stuff, they're not humanoid and stuff, so they don't walk on two legs as well as us, and their chests are not built to walk on two legs. Their chests are knuckle walkers, and their legs are called short and stubby. Gorilla legs, of course, short and stubby. They have a very wide thumb-toed foot. So a Sasquatch actually should be pound per pound stronger than the gorilla because its legs would be more humanoid, and let's just say the kind of new world monkey theory, new world ape, where it's a kind of it has longer legs, so it has more power to be able to push off of stuff with those legs, faster running, upright speed. Spider crawling, that's a little different kind of body mechanics that we really need to see on video to really get a glimpse and kind of explain how they're doing that. Because, when we think of Bigfoot, they got human proportions and body, and they have feet like us. And so when you see one kind of go spider crawling, it's like, well, how does that locomotion work? But I've had this displays of destroying the environment, slapping stuff, shaking trees and stuff. Chest slapping, clapping. That could be tree knocks and stuff. Tree knocks, most of the time, we say tree knocks like, they're knocking on a fucking tree. But in my opinion, it makes more sense that they're just carrying around tools and they're just smacking it. Because I've heard tree knocks, and I've never come across a tree where it looks like someone took a freaking baseball bat, like a Sasquatch took a baseball bat and smacked a tree. Like, you would have some damage. But if you already have tools, two broken stubs of trees or logs that you're just smacking together, that makes more sense that you could carry it around. You would always have something to use instead of, well, I got to find the right particular tree, and I got to find a right particular tree branch to smack something. Otherwise, it's not going to sound that good. And also having a weapon, a club, knock deer or to throw at something, or you had to fight a bear, having that club, tree knocker, is going to be more beneficial. Alrighty. We're going to put that video away. We're going to watch another video of, after I read some of Bigfoot Chew's comments, of course. Let me get back up. There's a lot of weird things in the political theater, the world stage. It's a clown world, guys. So you can't take it seriously because it's really just a clown show when you really dive into it. And there's nothing new under the sun. All right, so give me a thermal. Got me a thermal. It was outside standing in the trees with me, and I heard it walk out, stop, and shock the other night, or stock the other night. I don't have a thermal. I don't have I don't have a great night vision anyways. Yeah, you got to get a thermal. I mean, you don't have to, honestly. You don't need all that tech, but if you're gonna get a thermal, you might as well spend the money and get a damn good one, because you might as well spend a couple $1,000, $2,500 at least, to get you something that you're able to look and see something clearly far away. And I'm not dogging on anyone who has something less. It's better than nothing. But when you show someone a video and it looks like the LBL footage of a dog man, it's a deer, and you can't really, well, you really can't tell it, because the quality of the thermal, but really, you should know better of what you're actually looking at. And if it looks like a deer, and I don't think it's a emaciated small dog man, it's probably just a deer, right? So even having a thermal doesn't really mean anything if you don't know how to use it, or you really don't know how to identify the stuff that you're viewing. And if you think everything's a Bigfoot in the thermal, well, everything will be a Bigfoot in that thermal. And you could be looking at a fucking deer's ass. So positive identification of what you're seeing through the thermal, what you're seeing through cameras, and what you're hearing audio on your audio recordings or in real time. I'm definitely feeding it. It lets me know that it came by different things with a ball, with figures and rocks, and different things left for it. Well, you need to try to document some of that stuff. And, if I was feeding the Bigfoot, I would legitimately try to get it on camera. Because I'll be honest, man, until you get real stuff, I think a lot of people would say, that's bullshit. Because, well, frankly, it's kind of far-fetched to be able to not actually know that you're feeding the Bigfoot. But, there's a lot of people who wish that was their position. Where I wish it'd be nice if I could feed a Bigfoot. And I knew it was there. And I knew it was a Bigfoot. And I was feeding it. And it let me know. That's like, the golden goose kind of thing. And then let's introduce the camera. Let's introduce the thermal. Let's introduce the audio. You got to get the evidence. Because even if it's legitimately happening, without evidence to show and prove it, it's just a story to many people. And until, people get to know you and trust you and stuff, and then say, you know what, I honestly 100,000% believe him. There ain't no way he's lying. A lot of people are just going to say, it's a story or things like that. And I think that's where we've been stuck at for the last 60 years almost, where we need to really hammer out the evidence, legit evidence, because that's what we're lacking. We have thousands of stories, hundreds and thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of hours of stories online. How much evidence do we have? How much legit evidence do we actually have that we can consider it's Bigfoot? We don't have that. We don't have a collection. We don't have a community-wide agreement of, what, this is legit, more legit than this. Let's put all the more legit stuff in this box, even though it's not proof. You don't need evidence, doesn't need to be proof of Bigfoot, but evidence can lead to or point to proof of Bigfoot, right? You got to have evidence. You got to have breadcrumbs. They're going to add these puzzle pieces together to something. That's what we're missing. Not to dog on you, not to say I don't believe you and stuff, but this is what we're missing and stuff. I hope you are feeding Bigfoot, man. Hopefully you'll get something that will actually be amazing to watch or listen to and stuff like that. I encourage everyone to just try and to be extremely careful, because if you stop feeding Bigfoot, they're probably going to get pissed off. Paranormal footsteps running up behind me in East Park, Colorado. Bigfoot is more than just a physical creature. A lot of people believe that. It might possibly be that way. I have yet to confirm or deny 100,000% one or the other, although I do know that there's something out there that we consider Bigfoot that we are interacting with. And but there's other things that could be out there. I've experienced hiccups. I've experienced ghost stuff. I've seen UFOs. I've seen an orb. I've seen other cryptid creatures that I have a hard time thinking it. Well, maybe that was a Bigfoot. Well, I don't think that was a Bigfoot. I've seen a wolf run across the road, get up on its two legs, and run like a human. That definitely 1,000% was not a Bigfoot. Other than if they're paranormal, crazy entities, then I guess they're related that way, right? But there are certainly a plethora of other things out there that you can experience that is not necessarily Bigfoot, in my opinion. Certainly doesn't look like Bigfoot. All right, I've seen them snap 4-inch landscaping posts, solid wood. I mean, every other one in a row, demonstrating strength. Yeah, that they are definitely strong enough to break you in half. That is for sure. All right, we got to. We'll read one more, and then we're gonna get to this other video. Chimpanzees scare the hell out of me. Bigfoot don't seem to bother me. I guess if I saw an ugly one, it might. Yeah, chimpanzees are pretty vicious, pretty wild, unpredictable, and hyper. But I think Bigfoot can get frenzied up and act the same way that chimpanzees do. And it's definitely not a good situation to be in if you hype one up to that point. And it can be sexually too. And a playfulness excitement that leads to a sexual excitement, which actually chimpanzees actually do demonstrate that. They actually, when chimpanzees get excited from food that people are giving them, males will become erect and stuff, and that can lead them into a sexual frenzy and stuff, and potential, if you apply it to Bigfoot, that could be a potential bad thing for people, men or women, honestly. So that is definitely not a good thing to ever try to do, is to get these things frenzied up into, especially sexual variety. But frenzied up at all to where they are, this close to you, frenzied up, and, you don't want something that close. And luckily that guy, he was kind of bluff charging him. But you also have to understand is the reaction time of gorillas, chimpanzees and gorillas are much greater than humans. Look at the strength of that gorilla. Thunk. I mean, how much effort does that look like that's taking to do that? Thunk. That's a coconut. Now, imagine a Sasquatch who's reportedly stronger than a gorilla bonking you on the head. That's all it takes. You don't want them frenzied up like that, especially a young one who might not know any better, might not have that self-control like that chimpanzee barely just demonstrated. Pushing on you, get out of my way. Gorillas do that too. They'll push you, get out of my way. Look at that bonk. Look at that bonk bonk. He's only a couple inches off of. He's not. So the reality is that we are chasing after a creature who is pound for pound bigger than a gorilla and stronger than a gorilla, faster than a gorilla, as crazy as a chimpanzee if it gets angry, can go up trees like a gorilla can and like chimpanzees can, and are reportedly can be thrown into a violent rage. And I have experienced a rageful incident where I pissed off a Bigfoot by shooting my gun off at a possum. He yelled at me. He was coming to let me know. And I don't know what he was going to do, but I tell you what, if he wanted to bonk my head, I don't think he'd have yelled at me. He probably would have just came over there and bonk my head as silently as he could have. But the emotion and that pissed off thing and to let me know, it's kind of like a human side and stuff. Like a tiger. Tiger would have just went after you and ate you. He isn't gonna yell at you saying he's pissed off. And chimpanzees do actually have groups that go to war and hunt other groups. And on the borders, on the territorial borders of other chimpanzee groups and stuff, they go hunting and they fight in war. And they have tactics, and they have people in charge, people that take orders, and it's crazy. Now, when you ask, hey, why don't you go out there by yourself, go film some chimpanzees? Go out there by yourself, go film a gorilla without the guides. People are going to be looking at you white in the face, saying, hell no. There ain't no way I'm going to go after a chimpanzee, go film it. And a chimpanzee is like 200 pounds, 5 times as strong as people. Will rip your head off, rip your face off, bite your fingers off, rip your private parts off of you. Now, that's 200 pounds. Sasquatch and gorillas are 600 pounds. Sasquatches are 600 pounds to 1,000 pounds, 1,200 pounds, maybe more. Can you imagine the strength? If you're not going to go film a chimpanzee out in the wild, you're not going to go film a gorilla. I don't know why people think, well, it's just Bigfoot. It's friendly. It's nice. I mean, doesn't seem like it attacks people officially. I think officially, if it was on the news that a 1,000-pound wild ape ripped a person in half in Michigan, oh yeah, there's plenty of them in the state. I think they might cause some panic. Maybe they don't want that. Maybe they don't want monsters that roam the backwoods of Americans' backyards. So when you're actually dedicated and you want to go do this stuff, right? You should know, like, this is real. This isn't fake. Like, real shit can happen. And if you're scared of a chimpanzee who's 200 pounds, what do you think is going to happen with an 800-pound creature that you're going to go after in the woods, right? That's why these content creators, these influencers who are getting into this game, I don't really know if they're really understanding what they're potentially getting into, especially when they might go out in the woods. They might actually have a real encounter. And now they're faced with a situation where there's a creature who could just bop them in the head and splatter their brains like a coconut in this video. And they thought it was good content. Yeah. They might film themselves pissing their pants at least. But I don't think they're going to be ready to actually turn the camera around and film Bigfoot. Hell, they might not even know what to do. They'd probably go shoot at the creature and probably definitely get them all killed. Maybe it was just another bear attack. Because, if these creatures are real, the fact of the matter is they can't all be nice. There can't be all the stories where there's never been an incident of Bigfoot aggression, Bigfoot attacks, Bigfoot violence, or vice versa, right? Oh, well, we've heard people shoot at them. There are people who take data reports and stuff who have statistics on Bigfoot aggression, violent attacks, kidnappings, actual deaths caused by Bigfoots. Bigfoot's trying to open, breaking and entering entries, trying doors, opening up windows, smashing windows, house slapping, peeing on stuff, rock throwing, window peeping, of course, killing of dogs, ripping dogs in half, doing all this kind of stuff. I would have to say some of that data is unofficial. Seems like that some of that stuff is definitely unofficial. I've been told some unofficial stories that supposedly took place. If sources are right, it seems pretty legit to me. No reason to lie. But there is a reason to cover up violent attacks caused by Bigfoots. Say, a group of people see a Bigfoot and they shoot at one. And then later that night, the Bigfoot finds them all in their little RV and attacks and kills them all. And then, it's covered up by the state or the feds. I don't think you're going to hear about it. But supposedly, that stuff does happen. And if you're a little nobody, or you might be somebody, national defense comes first. Can't have panic. So, yes, I've been told stuff. There's unofficial stuff. Supposedly, the Miller documents, a lot of people think there's fake because you can't find Dr. Miller at any college. But I've heard sources to say that Dr. Miller is government. That's why you're not finding his name anywhere, because he's a government. And it sounds like a confession that he made with the documents that came out. And honestly, it seems like some of that stuff's missing. But so let's dive back into the some of the videos. I think I might actually have to load some more. I'm having a little fun, guys. Can you tell? Can you tell? So yeah, Bigfoot can be crazy, wild, cause all this stuff. I've actually been in, like I said, Allegan Part 1 and Part 2. You guys can watch it. 2-parter. Some of the stuff that we've seen the chimpanzee and the gorilla doing is what we've actually experienced, where we had this kind of playful interaction, thankfully. But it was disrupting the environment like we've seen from the gorilla and chimpanzees. And I'm very adamant that Bigfoot definitely climb trees and can climb some small trees like this one. As long as the Bigfoot isn't going to be outstretched and going to break the branch like this, if he's in the middle of the crotch, which is where the V tapers, right? That won't happen. I'm looking at my other monitor when I look this way. So you have a crotch in the tree is what we call it in the industry. Guess what that is? If it has its hand inside the crotch, it can climb a pretty small tree. Anyone have a guess of what this is? Anyone? What is that? Anyone know? Anyone? We'll replay it. So as long as a Bigfoot doesn't outstretch and go limb walking, it can go up a tree straight up vertically and hide from people. And you would never expect it and stuff. So even pretty small trees, they can go straight up, not outside the limbs and stuff like that. And so that right there is actually a bear that is jumping. I'm pretty sure it's a black bear. But I think the caption was like, bears can really fly. And yeah, so you see a bear jumping from one pine tree to another. And I have no idea how it caught himself. Like, did it like bite down in the branch and like swing or something? Because that's what it looks like. It's pretty cool. And so it's just demonstrating that multiple 100-pound animals can actually climb up and swing from tiny little branches on trees, and you would not expect that. Yeah, I have no idea how it like caught himself and is like swinging like that. Yeah, it's pretty awesome, I think. So, you should always look up if you think, especially with little Bigfoots and stuff. There'll be like little chimpanzees running up and down those trees. A big Bigfoot might be a little slower, maybe a little slower, but it's still going to get up these trees. And the Miller documents actually describe the Pacific Northwest variety with its own scientific name given of having specialized pads on their feet and hands for tree climbing. It was also described as the creatures having scent glands um, on their arms and stuff. Gorillas also have scent glands, but I believe they're under the armpit. I think. I have to refresh my memory on that, on the scent glands of gorillas. I know they have them though. Just reportedly in the Miller documents, the Pacific Northwest variety, which is different than the southern eastern Texas variety, a little different. They had the pads and stuff. So if you guys look up the Miller documents, you can look at people who believe it's legit and people who think it's fake, and then just read it, of course. Let me gotta do some stuff real quick. A couple more videos to show. I gotta make some room, and then I gotta upload them. Shouldn't take too long. And I'll read the rest of the comments. I see there's a couple more people who joined. Hopefully everyone is doing awesome tonight or whenever they watch this broadcast of the live show. Okay, jump around, do a couple things. Oh yeah, I should probably do this. I am going to put the link to our Bigfoot conference this year, the Michigan Bigfoot and Dogman Conference 2025. I'm going to put it in the chat right now. It will be in the description at the end of the show. I guess I just didn't put it in the description before the show. But... Oh, no. Oh, definitely don't do that. All right, so that is our free event that we're actually having this year. It's mostly going to be talking about Bigfoot, talking about specifically some Michigan sightings, some Michigan spots. We're also going to be doing a camp out after the event for that weekend. So the event is on Friday from 12 to 6. And then we are going to go to a camping spot and hit up some multiple Bigfoot hotspots and areas and potentially get them on, well, get evidence of it, because that's the most important thing, really. And so this is a free event this year. We're kind of giving back and stuff. Really, because I'm not in this to make money, although it would be nice to be able to do. Have that kind of aspect taken away, having paid equipment paid for by yourself or without having to pay for it by yourself. Pretty nice, right? But in reality, it's more important to spread the awareness of what's actually happening, to get more people into the community, to educate young minds, to inspire young minds and stuff of curiosity and adventure. Than it is to try to make money and stuff. So we're actually having a free event. I don't know if next year is going to be free, but this year's free. So this year is going to be free, and we're going to have a camp out and stuff. The camp out, you got to pay for a spot. I think it's like $20 for a primitive spot and a couple bucks more for an RV electric hookup, which they have. So the link will take you to the ticket website. You will purchase the ticket for free, get an email. If you want to email me for, hey, where's the camp out going to be? I want the info on that. Then I will email you back and give you that information so we can go out in the woods together looking for Bigfoot. And it doesn't matter what your physicality is. If you're a person who's not going to be able to go that far, don't worry, we'll still got some spots that we can take you. And uh, I would rather spend my time next to a person who is going to take their time in the woods safely than a whole group of people that's going to be rushing out there and whatever. Um, Sometimes it's good to rush out there and go fast, balls to the walls, but other times, it's a nice, good aspect to take your time and be slow too. So, whoever are all welcome as long as you are respectful and professional out in the woods. Obviously, we're not going to have any alcoholics out there drinking a fifth, getting drunk on the trail system. That kind of stupid bullshit stuff should not even have a thought on these kind of things. But just putting it out there. Come on, guys. So yeah, that is the link. That is the link. I gotta load some. I gotta load some more videos and stuff too. Um, it's a small event and stuff. We don't have any big name speakers, or I'm not paying thousands of dollars to have someone speak about Bigfoot this year and stuff. No, that's probably not happening. So no Jeff Meldrums, no Cliff Brackman. Frankly, I'm a one man operation, and I really just don't have the funds to spend on that, especially if there's no real. It's a chunk of money just to spend. It'd be good to have a return investment. It'd bring some profit and stuff, but then again, you're playing more into that. Trying to make money instead of educating people and stuff. And money is money is money, and usually is the root of all evil. So being greedy is not good. And we see a lot of greediness with the Bigfoot community, with the I'm going to make money off Bigfoot, which it's not stupid, you know. I think it's just means you don't have integrity for the actual research of the subject, but it's not stupid. I mean, it's a $1 billion industry and growing yearly, multi-billion-dollar industry. I would say easily now. So that's with merchandise, that's with content creation, that's with conferences, that's with speaking fees, that's with paid expeditions, right? You name it, right? Documentaries, uh, subs, members, right? You channel members and all that stuff. The reason why I don't do channel membership and stuff is pretty simple, actually. I really don't feel like I have the time to dedicate so you guys have that special, more exclusive access for being a member and stuff. Like, I like me taking this break and stuff right now. Like, if I had members and stuff, I'm sure you guys would be pretty pissed off, and I would feel bad because but at the same time, it's like I'm trying to work my ass off and do other things, build my life up and career and skills, techniques and stuff, tree climbing, cut trees down and stuff, man. There's some days there were some days I planned on doing a show and it's just too tired, man. I just wanted to go to sleep. And so I went to sleep. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's just what happened. I mean, there's just times I just wanted to do a show and I was just too tired, wasn't in the mood. I was just like, not today. maybe next week. And then that turned to next week, and then and then it turned into you know what, we're gonna come back. Let's outline some schedule, some stuff that we're gonna do the next couple of weeks. I got a bunch of outings actually. We were gonna go up north, last month, the 20 something, but that I unfortunately had to work through storms and stuff. We are doing that now. September, no, August 23rd, I think, 20 something. We're going up to a hotspot up in northern Michigan, going out with another, I would say, semi researcher. Like, he's not in the community kind of thing, but he goes out Bigfooting. He's taking reports and stuff. Kind of more like a hobbyist kind of a thing. Not known online and stuff like that. Not recognized. No channel. Nothing like that. But we're gonna go out camping overnight. We're gonna hopefully have James and Tyler, or we're gonna try to go again, or somewhere new, the 3rd of September. And then we're also having the camp out and the conference on the 26th of September. And then October's rolling around, and there are a number of spots that I'm going to be going. Solo tripping and also with the guys. Unfortunately, the way our schedule's been going, me, Tyler, and James have not been able to get together at all this summer for any kind of trip. So I've been doing a lot of solo stuff. Okay, so we have 1, 2, that one, this one. Okay. Show this one first. All right. This is the other one. Oh well. So yeah, it was nice to take the break. It was nice to refresh. It was nice to work on things. It was kind of nice. I will have to admit, not being in the middle of any bullshit drama, which I haven't been for in a long time. But it was kind of nice not being. I guess it was nice not always having to plan and like having the schedule of the show, every Tuesday or sometimes Saturdays, sacrificing a Saturday night to the show. Sometimes it's a lot. A lot of times in the woods I wasn't being able to do. So, like I said, tomorrow night, maybe Monday or Tuesday. It really depends on what happens tomorrow with my schedule. And we are going to go out, boots on the ground with the thermal, into some areas and set up, and with the night vision also, and have you guys watch it through the thermal. So we'll be doing that more, I think, on the weekdays also, besides the weekend, and try to get out there more. I also have some video and other content that will be showing soon. If you guys actually want to, the Monroe sighting, Small Town Monsters actually just did a documentary. They came to Michigan and they talked to some other researchers. I wasn't contacting the stuff, but I don't know if they knew I went out there. But my buddy Val, he was actually in that documentary, so you should go watch that just because he's in it. He actually talks about the history and sightings around Monroe, and Jim Sherman's on there. Awesome, knowledgeable guy. He's part of the BFRO here in Michigan. Awesome guy. And they actually have the eyewitnesses from the actual report in the documentary. I'm pretty sure. I'm like 95% positive. So you guys can do that and stuff. They went to the spots and all that. So that's pretty cool. It just came out or is coming out or something like that. Val's an awesome guy. I do have video and stuff I took from the area and stuff. I probably will be releasing that too. um, I just read a comment, kind of laughed. But yeah, so it's nothing like what the Small Town Monster did. Well, they actually had their witnesses there and stuff like that, which is pretty awesome. And they describe it pretty good. That's taking forever. Skip that one. We'll skip that. I mean, love them or hate them, Small Town Monsters. They do their own thing, right? I mean, I, if they wanted to do something with me, I would love to do something with them. I would like to take them out more out in the woods and kind of be more researching kind of a thing instead of giving interviews and stuff. But I think it's nice that they inspire more people to get into the subject at the very least. And for the most part, from what I can tell, they themselves don't seem to be like hoaxing people or trying to fake evidence. Some of the people they might interview, I might have different opinions of. But, for the most part, I don't think they've tried to hoax stuff or anything. They might put a lot of documentaries out there that they like to make a lot of content, but I mean, at least they have invested interest in it and actually are passionate about this kind of stuff. They actually have some life in it. That's the other one. Okay. Sorry, this video thing. I had one video that I don't know, completely just ghosted itself. I guess I just tried looking for it, but whatever. I see a bunch of comments flowing and stuff. I will have to get back to them when I can. Yeah, I know Small Town Monsters went to Michigan. They did a Michigan Dogman and stuff, which I seen a Michigan Dogman, guys. But they actually had my friend Susan on, interviewed her with her encounters and stuff with her. I think it was her cousin, which is pretty cool. She went to our first conference and our Dewey Lake conference and went to her spot and had some Bigfoot activity and been meaning to get back over there. She actually moved to a different spot now, so she has like a whole brand new spot. But yeah, we need to get out to that spot in the state. Okay, there's that video. There's that one. Awesome. So yeah, I mean, and they had. I know you mentioned him. I seen that comment with the Michigan Aboriginal Project with James Lady. I believe he was on the. I guess it would have been that Michigan Dogman. Or no, it might have been the Monroe Monster one. I guess that makes more sense because it was Bigfoot. I think he's on that one. He's he's. I'm pretty sure he's. I guess would be in this Bigfoot one. His audio, I would assume, was going to be in it too, because the Michigan Aboriginal Project, James Lady, does a lot of audio stuff at some of his spots. I like James. He's a cool guy. He's been to one of our campouts that we had with a big group of us on a private property. But he didn't stay the night. He just came out for the day and chatted and stuff. Okay. Let me catch up on the comments real fast, and then I'll get to these videos, and then we got a couple more, and then we'll be ending the show probably around the 2-hour mark. Um, uh, I think that James from the Aboriginal Project has some interesting stuff. Like he has a video where it looks like something could be there. Some of the audio stuff is very kind of intriguing, but some of the other stuff I kind of it sounds distorted in a sort of way. And actually, I've actually had my own recorder kind of sound like this kind of distortion, and it's kind of set in the low setting, a low quality setting. But also, I think my recorder is about to die, honestly, and that's why I'm getting a couple new ones, more new ones. Um, it will only record for one day, 24 hours, and then it just stops. Whether it has full battery or not, it says has like 150 hours worth of it can run on internal memory. Now it just records 24 hours, then it says it's full. But I did notice that it sometimes it's like a low quality recording that I didn't switch into, and it kind of sounds like some of the one particular, maybe a couple of his recordings, where it's like the sounds that you would hear from normal animals are distorted and sounds completely different than what they would normally sound like if the audio recorder was at higher setting or it was working properly. Um, so I'm not sure if James is using the same recorder that he's been for a couple of years, but I know if mine records and it sounds like that particular distortion, it's the whole track, the whole recording is just it's a dud. So I'm not sure if he thinks there's stuff on there where it's not, all that kind of stuff. I like James. I don't, I think he's a good mind, good spirit. And, but like people can get confused. People want to believe their own evidence and stuff like that, and sometimes you really got to figure out what exactly is going on in your audio and video evidence. Anyways, that link isn't really a link, though. Oh, guess it's not. I'm not sure. It should have. Anyways, I'll put it in the description. It'll be fine. It will be fine. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I will put the link into the description. Hey, Jeff, how's it going? How's it going? I am doing very well. I hope you are doing the same. I feel refreshed and renewed. Eager to talk about Bigfoot. Spending a lot of time in the tops of trees climbing. Been on the ground, boots on the ground, looking for Bigfoot. Unfortunately, nothing major has happened. There's some stuff where, like, potentially a sapling or branch is placed in a trail system or a particular way that wasn't there before the following day or the following week, that kind of sort of stuff, but nothing super major, unfortunately. But we'll be, we'll be doing more live stuff. I like being out in the woods and not going live because it's unnatural for me to be Bigfoot researching and talking to someone on my phone instead of being out there, being quiet and listening and observing everything like I normally try to do. So when I'm live streaming to you guys and I'm talking on my phone, that is something that I just normally just don't do. And it's a little bit more dangerous because I can't hear what's around me. I don't know if something's walking up on me or sneaking up on me as well as if I didn't have the phone and wasn't talking to you guys. So, yeah, I kind of like going live, but I really don't like going live either because that might drive them away. It might bring them closer. It's not something I normally like to do, but I will do it for you guys, of course. There was one time I was on Jeff's show live. He was going live, and we were at a camp out. And we started having stuff happen. It sounded awesome in real time, but when we looked at the recording of the stuff, it was a coyote making the sounds. But the muffled distortion, the fire, and me listening and talking to Jeff on his show, it sounded like we were getting a whoop or something. But the recorder that was placed closer to that area and a high quality recording, we were able to determine and not exaggerate that it was just a coyote. But on the live show, we got pretty excited and stuff. But in reality and stuff, I might have even mentioned the show. We'll just see what happens. You got to figure out. You can't. You got to have integrity and stuff. If someone excites you and you thought it was one thing, and then later you find out it was something else, then just say, "Hey, found out it was," and it wasn't Bigfoot, guys. Shocking, right? I appreciate the comment, Bigfoot Truth. I think there's some awesome shows out there. I mean, Nikki Cologne does a great show on Sasquatch Secrets. Jeff does a good show on Pilot Island Research. Whenever he gets done from his long duration breaks, he comes up with a good show, good talking points. Um, uh, I think Pat has a good show when he dives into stuff and gives his own opinion that no one else, his own unique opinion that no one else can give, right? The Pat gives his own Pat style opinion, agree or disagree. It's a good opinion I like to have floating around, to bounce off the walls and stuff. And that's valuable. I think, there's a lot of different people who have their different styles, different ways of thinking, because we're all different. Like them, don't like them. I think I respect and like a lot more people when they're actually investing into this and they have the integrity and they want to just find out what's really going on, spread the awareness, care about the truth, and not trying to make money, make documentaries to make money, or money, or whatever bullshit, influence, bullshit that doesn't matter. That has nothing to do with finding Bigfoot. It has nothing to do with evidence. That's all like people pleasing and people scheming and blah 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 blah. I am I'm going to come on more often. That is for sure. I think Untold Radio has. There's only one show that I watch, and it's actually a show that I'm going to be on. As long as they don't cancel me from it, you never know. I pissed off the head honchos over there, so I guess they got the green light to get me on. But I think it's like I don't know. It's Barnaby's show. I know his name, Barnaby. He's from Wisconsin. I can't remember his show's name, but I like watching and listening to him. That's the only Untold Radio show that I watch. And I will actually be on his show. I think we're going to be on the Monday after our conference. So hopefully something happens for our conference and I'll be able to talk about it on his show. He reached out and invited me on. I'm not quite sure if I'm not supposed to say anything yet. He didn't say I couldn't, but we scheduled that, so we'll see. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I like Alex. I don't know if you. Pretty sure you just spelt it wrong. on purpose. But Alex Petikoff, I think he's a good researcher. I mean, I haven't seen anything that would say he's like a hoaxer. He's faking it. He doesn't have the integrity. He seems like he is about the real research and evidence, and he seems legit from his experiences. I would love to go research with him in Michigan. There are some spots that I would definitely take him or small town monsters, or really anyone else if they really wanted to. I mean, it's not that hard. I might have a reputation of being kind of a maybe a hard ass and maybe not playing well with others when it comes to Bigfoot stuff. But if you really want to find evidence to go researching, you're going to see a whole different side that you see than you're going to experience from, some of these live streams, some of these heated live stream moments that we've had, or even if you look at my Facebook page, where I post a lot of political, uh, clown world theater stuff, where it's just all a bunch of crazy bullshit that's happening around the world that is just unbelievably, it's so unbelievable that it's just hilariously funny because it's a clown world. And I think that offends and upsets a lot of people. So they probably get upset and don't want to play Bigfoot with me. But that is fine because the truth matters more than making money or chasing to please people or whatever. That doesn't matter at all. The truth matters of finding research, and the truth matters about exposing what's actually happening in and around the world that might not be on your local news. You know, that matters a lot more than people's opinions or um, being influential, right? Influencer or content creator or, trying to make money off of this. Money would be awesome. It would probably relieve a lot of stress and make things a lot easier. But I unfortunately am just not interested in trying to make as much money as I possibly can, as fast as I can, off of Bigfoot. I really just want to film evidence of Bigfoot and just post it, guys. I mean, and get this ball rolling and experience more stuff and have fun and make friends and do things the right way. And if you guys, and then that will do everything else, honestly. It's like everyone tries to make money first and then try to film Bigfoot. It's like, why don't, if you guys really actually just did film a Bigfoot and slap it on the internet, it probably would make its own money just by doing that, like the truth will stand on its own kind of a thing, You don't need to prop it up, right? All righty, all righty, all right, all right, all right. Yeah. I mean, there's a formula of how to make a Bigfoot documentary, and that's what you do. You standardize it, you bastardize it, and you make it so everyone can eat it. You got to play nice. You got to be politically correct. You can't say how you really feel about stuff because otherwise, people won't watch your documentary. People won't want to talk with you and network with you on their documentary. It's kind of like that tribalism, except for in Bigfoot groups and communities and I believe my friends stuff. But when it comes to money and networks, and it's like, well, he's too opinionated, things like that. All right, we're gonna skip those comments. All right, all right, all right, all right. Damn, dude, you have a lot of freaking comments. I can't believe this. Bigfoot Truth. I have to look at your channel because I'm not. I honestly can't. I'm not sure. I just took a break too long. I don't really recognize like who you are. Or maybe you're not someone I would recognize or stuff like that. I'm not quite sure. You got some good, interesting opinions. Everyone has them, uniquely their own. But let's get to some more videos of some unknown cryptids like the chupacabra, which was recently sighted and filmed. Let's take a look. And here we have a chupacabra, as you see, two men facing it down as it chases after one of them, and one's on the hill, scared for their lives as they run, and they have a stick to defend themselves. And as you get closer, of course, the camera shuts off and dies as they run away screaming. The El Chupacabra, as we can see, has made an appearance once again. So what do you guys think? Legit? 100%? Or is it some AI concoction? How many think it's AI? How many think it's a real video? Give you a couple seconds, and I'll give you my opinion. What do you guys think? I think it's 100% real. Now, is it 100% a real chupacabra? No, of course not. That, in my opinion, looks like a mangy bear, a mangy bear cub. You know, that's or maybe some other kind of animal. It looks like a bear. I mean, it looks and runs like a bear. Has bear ears, bear snout, bear face. But this is presented as a chupacabra sighting, of course, and this is that's floating around that we'll get more and more of, which we'll demonstrate with this next video that we'll see. Get thirsty. I don't have my drink next to me. So here we have more incredible real footage.
Pato di. Tindahin na perasan ko ini. Tinapa kaya perasan ko itu kayak ada suara-suara terus yang nakelin kayak gini. Di belakang. Wow! Wah, ti. Pato. Wah, pato di. Pato di. Wah!
Oh shit. Woo! Oh shit. Look at that. You know it's real. And it had glowing eyes. Look at that. It jumped out of the way, guys. Look at that. Look at that. Whoa. Whoa, guys. You can't fake that. Come on. You can't fake that, guys. Look. It got glowing eyes. It jumps out of the way. The guy's swinging at it. 1000% legit real. You can't fake that, right? Come on, guys. You can't fake that. Come on. Come on, guys. You can't fake this. Look. It has glowing eyes. Its eyes are self-illuminating. Look. It's real. It's real. The guy is scared. He's scared, right? Look. He's scared. He's staying they stay in there, but he's scared. He runs away. Oh, no, he's running after it. Look, it jumps out of the way, guys. Look. This is what I have been afraid of, is these guys from Indonesia and Malaysia, somewhere in Southeast Asia or Asia, and they're making these freaking videos hoaxing us and you know what? I'm going to be honest. They're doing a hell of a lot better job of trying to hoax you than any bimbo American I've ever seen trying to hoax us with Bigfoot. Maybe Todd Standing. He had a Muppet one that didn't move, but at least this stuff jumps out of the way, right? Of course, people would be like, well, I mean, it has to be real. It's glowing eyes. I mean, right, because you can't get reflectors that just paste them on a costume with someone wearing it. And then you can't make a little scarecrow dummy hooked onto a string and pulley that you can't just yank and then it out of the way, right? Nah, they're over in some third world country. They can never do that. They can never be creative enough to do that kind of a stuff, right? wrong. Come on, guys. And that's what this is, especially this one. You can see it sailing away like it's being drugged or pulled on a string, on a little guide wire. They have more videos that show this. I mean, come on, legit. How many times do you got to go in the woods and film all this stuff? It's legit real. Come on, they had like 3 different incidences there. You can go on their little page and channel and look at like dozens of more documented cryptid encounters. This is what it's becoming, guys. This is the content creation. So the dozens of videos all showing basically the same sort of stuff. But when you watch it randomly as you're, maybe you're watching your shorts or your reels or whatever, that will pop up. And, you're some old timer and you're like, whoa, I can't really see that good, but it has glowing eyes. Looks legit to me. And you don't click on it. You don't investigate the page channel. Oh, there's dozens of the same kind of videos. Maybe it's not real. I don't know. But yeah, so that's what I've been afraid of, because it would be awesome if these guys were doing legit research and had a legit video with a crappy phone. That'd be more intriguing. But now you have the crappy phone with them trying to hoax us. And to a lot of people, it looks decently good. I mean, hell, it looks decently better than most hoaxing attempts that we've seen, aka Sasquatch Ontario and the masks, right? The masks, the fence photo, his little Nefertiti or whatever the fuck he called her, the eye, Nefertiti's eye, and all this shit. We did a live show exposing that. Hell, at least these guys, the thing moves, right? It's animated. I got to give them props. They took their acting classes seriously. What one was? Oh, okay. Yeah, that was that one. Delete this one. And then, okay, delete this one. I have to download another video first. Gotcha. Okay. Got a couple more videos. I gotta have this specific one first, though. Preferably. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but preferably I would like this one first. Alrighty. Let's click this. Let's get it uploaded and ready to go. Yeah, this show was kind of short notice because, like I said, for those who are just joining, I plan to do this live studio show tomorrow night. And I was actually going to go in the woods live tonight, but I was climbing trees, doing tree work. And I was just too tired to go walk into the woods and get eaten alive by bugs. I just... I'll just do the show tonight because I wanted to do something, and then I'll go out. Yeah, okay, that looks right. Then I'll go out in the woods tomorrow night, or maybe Monday or Tuesday. Definitely Wednesday. Definitely sometime there during the week. Probably from like 9 to 11 or something, or 9 to 12 maybe, and then I'll get like 4 hours of sleep. But yeah, we'll do that. Look at this. Whoa. %, legit, right? I actually showed you guys the wrong video first. But that's okay. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit anyways. I actually should have showed you this video first. Look how legit this looks, guys. Look at that. Look at that. The rake. Fucking rake. Look at that rake. First, it peeks behind the mirror or something, and then it's crawling up to him. The rake, guys. Now that legit looks kind of scary, you know. I mean, if you're up kind of staying up late and you're just flipping through stuff and you see this one-off video, I mean, yeah, a lot of people might think it's legit. I mean, it looks pretty good. It looks decent, right? Like, damn, there's something there. Kind of looks ugly. It's like, like, damn, dude. The sleep paralysis demon is coming to get him. You know, I slowed it down and stuff and did it. But as we've seen from, is he gonna do it? Nope, I didn't do it. Never mind. As we've seen from the other video with the same content creator with the mirror, yeah. If you go to the video or the page, you'll see, oh, there's like dozens of other videos exactly like this with a different creature in it. Wow. Awesome. And so that's what it's about. It's about making the content with the subject of creepy ghost, paranormal, cryptid stuff, right? Because that's what gonna get that views, baby. So let's put 20 different videos showing 20 different things. And, you know, hell, people watch one video and they think it's legit because, well, it looks legit, right? Old timer, dust in his eyes, can't tell the difference. So, you know, that's all this guy does. Turns the camera around and then, bop, here's the new creation, guys. Here's the ghost, here's the Bigfoot, here's the alien, here's the skinwalker, here's the rake. Whatever. That's the problem we're dealing with is content creation. Viva la Bigfoot, viva la scary things in the woods go boo. And it's not about investigating. It's not about evidence. It's certainly not about evidence. Or like faking it. Exaggeration of things that are not even happening. So I thought that was pretty cool. I thought it was pretty cool because, I mean, it looked, I don't know if it's CGI or whatever's going on, how he did it. It looked kind of scary, that creepy crawling video, but the ghost in the mirror video, it's like, okay, dead giveaway, guys. Come on. Why are we falling for this? So let's look at another one let's look at another one. Let's see if you guys think it's real or not.
Barulho é esse? Barulho. Oxi. O céu! Que é isso, velho?
Oh, he shut the gun off, huh? You guys think it's real? I don't know. It has glowing eyes. It must be real. There's two dogman there. For some reason, it goes a little blurry. Not sure why. But look at the dogman. It looks legit, guys. It never blinks. Ever. Never blinks. And its mouth never moves and never closes. Then it goes blurry for some reason. And then you have the other one where, again, its mouth is open. It has glowing eyes. Then it goes blurry. And then boom. Real or fake? Real or fake? What do you guys think? Let's play it again. With the sound on.
Barulho é esse? Barulho. Oxi. O céu! Que é isso, velho?
I think it's both. I think it's real and fake. I think they're two furry costumes that the mouths never move, the eyes never blink, and the guy probably shoots a blank off. I mean, it looks like the gun really fires. I mean, unless it's all computer animation and stuff like that, it's really done well. It looks like the gun fires off, but if there's no bullet in it and it's just a blank and it's just some people in a costume, I mean, obviously someone had to upload the video, right? So the guy didn't die, right? Where's the backstory? Oh, I don't know. No one knows. At least this is more realistic than anything that us Americans have come up with, right? Sasquatch, Ontario hasn't come up with anything like this. As much as Americans love firearms and guns, no one has come up to use a blank unloaded a blank firearm shooting blanks out of costume to fool everyone. It is so insanely simple that if someone probably did it in America and made it look decently good, you probably could get away with it. Other than, being investigated for shooting a firearm off. Maybe you might, and then it cuts away. I think I could probably find the costume. I think I had another picture a while ago of it. Of this realistic wolf costume. So I will show you guys this real quick. As we're at the 2-hour mark, we got to get going. I don't want this to be all night long. Boom. Okay, share screen. All right, so like this one, as we can see right here, the eyes are open and the mouth is open, and it's something kind of like what they have. I had a picture; it was on Facebook, of. It was a black costume. It kind of looked like this, with it had eyes and it had the mouth, but it looked more like what we see in the actual video. Yeah. So what? But you do have real costumes. I know, like Japan and stuff, they got the whole like furry epidemic and stuff. You can make legit costumes of a dog man, and then you just film it coming after you crawling. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention it crawls the dog man so fluidly in its motion. Looks like it goes after the guy like it's in a dude in a costume. Like a dog man, in my opinion, would the locomotion of the creature would be so more fluid and legit. So yeah, the weird Japanese stuff, they got some of that stuff. Just not exactly what I was trying to see. I'm sure I have it somewhere saved on Facebook or in my storage of stuff that I never use for videos, live shows I never get to. It's kind of like another one. Another one was the mouth open and stuff. The mouth open. There's a legit one. That's a high quality costume right there. So the fact of the matter is, when people say, well, you can't fake stuff and all that, I don't know. If you have the money, there, like some of this, the kind of style where they have a face with some better looking eyes and a mouth open, even though it's cartoonish and stuff, you can still get a costume that looks. Actually, if we just put furry wolf costumes, we probably get better quality stuff like this. But I don't want to. I don't want to get banned because we show some weird shit. Some weird shit might pop up. They got some good costumes. They got some weird shit though too. That goes along with them. But yeah. So I think it's a legit, real video of people in costumes with a real firearm that's shooting blanks off. That's my opinion. I could be totally 100%, 1,000 wrong. It could be legitly aliens from Mars. So, all right. I'm going to upload some more videos and look at some of these comments. Then we'll be shutting the show down, guys. Shutting the return show down. Like Jeff likes to say, we're going to try to land this plane. Unfortunately, I like to crash and burn it. Yeah, so. Okay, so we did that one, like goofball. Okay. Gotcha. Okay, bada bing, bada boom. Oh, yeah, okay. This one, that one. 2, 3, 4. I think that's all I can hold. So the next live studio show will probably be, I would say, on Thursday, or next Tuesday. I really don't, I'm going to be back on, guys. I just don't want to give you a date where I'm like, something happens. But I will legit be back on in the studio for another live show sometime this week. We'll try to make it Thursday. It might be even Friday or Saturday. It's just going to be like an 11 o'clock show, 11 p.m. So that could happen too. But we're going to go out to doing the live show. I'm going to say probably Monday or Tuesday. I have a feeling tomorrow I am going to be a little bit more busy than I suspect. And yeah. All right, so we got those loading up. Hopefully that works out pretty good. We'll showcase these, and then we'll basically be done. Got to catch up on all the comments and all that. I know I didn't put the link to come onto the show into this one. I know I kind of floated the idea, but maybe we'll do that next time. I think that'd be kind of cool to get some people on here talking about their opinions and all that. Maybe have some people I haven't chat with in a while. You never know what could happen. Some of those live shows, we used to go get pretty. It used to get kind of wild up in here, especially when you're throwing around the accusation of hoaxers and faking bullshit. And yes, people don't like that. People don't like you calling out their idols or their friends or people they know as being fake and full of bullshit. Yeah, they don't like that for some reason. I can't imagine why. But here we don't give a shit about that. We care about if you're gonna, as goofy as it is, we try to take the Bigfoot shit seriously. We try to take the research and everything legitly seriously. I just really don't have the time or patience for bullshit people trying to make bullshit content or bullshit hoaxes and all that. I don't have the time for it. I really don't have the patience for it. But I'm not going to really spend any more of my time making videos on them, calling them out and stuff like that, because it really doesn't do anything. Okay, so we did that one. it really just, I mean, it does. It exposes the truth, and people see it. And those who have eyes to see will see it, and those who don't, unfortunately, will never understand that they are literally being lied to their face by their so-called friends because they they're their friends and they want to believe them. Other than that, I don't know if a person is lying to your face, as silly as Bigfoot is, and they're lying to your face about it. I'm not really sure what kind of friend that would be, especially when it comes to something serious, right? But it's accepted. It's accepted. So when you call them out, though, you don't play nice with others. That's not nice. No laugh reactions. Yeah. Alrighty, so let's look at some more interesting stuff. The newest, the greatest. Actually, it's not the greatest one. We're about to show the greatest one, but the newest Bigfoot footage live from a chicken coop near you. Clearly, it's legit. It's real. It's on effing camera, guys. Look at it. I mean, come on. It's real. It's a chicken. He's walking. He's just leading the Bigfoot away from the other guy. So why did the chicken cross the road? Because the Sasquatch was after him, I guess. This is an AI generated video that's getting better and better and better and better each and every day. And this is unfortunately the downfall of really just flying by the seat of your pants and watching the video and thinking, wow, like 10 years ago on YouTube, this would have been 100% real. Now it's like, well, looks like it's AI. Now every other video that comes out with Bigfoot in it is going to have to be thoroughly looked at and like, is it AI? Is it not AI? Who's it from? Oh, it's from that jackass over there in Sasquatch, Ontario. Oh, it's fake. If it's from legit researchers, then But this is what I say, you really have to be out there in person, filming yourself, filming something happening, a demonstration of the physicality of Bigfoot, a demonstration of the speed, a demonstration of the vocal prowess, something that can demonstrate in real time that there is something physically there that is interacting with you or the environment in such a way that it is inconceivable for one person to fake it, or inconceivable or highly unlikely that that group of legitimate researchers faked that. Can't have an ass clown guy come out and some real shit and expect everyone to believe it. We should thoroughly investigate it. So this is what we got. Crap. More shit. That's why it's nice to just take a break and not, go out there on your own and try to find a Bigfoot on your own. All right, so wait a minute. That didn't load. Whatever. So here we have a female chimpanzee investigating trail camera with a tool. Now she's giving it a taste, she's giving it a smell. This is actually, I think, one of the first, if not the first, documenting cases of a chimpanzee investigating a trail camera using a tool, which would be that stick right there. And the question is, how come we haven't had Bigfoot doing the exact same thing? If a Bigfoot is a undiscovered, intelligent, new world primate, new world ape, how come we don't have simply a Bigfoot being curious on game camera, trying to investigate what the camera is. And obviously they shouldn't know what a camera does, right? They shouldn't know what the cell phone does. They shouldn't know what the audio equipment does. They shouldn't know what the game camera does, but yet they avoid it thoroughly. And, I've always said, well, they probably smell it. They obviously see it. The chimpanzee sees the trail camera and recognizes it as something different. Deer see the cameras. I've had a deer cross a creek and go and try to lick the camera and sniff it because it spotted the camera across the creek and went right up to it. So I think Bigfoot obviously can spot the cameras. Maybe they could see infrared light. Maybe they could hear the little electronics buzzing. Maybe they can smell the plastic in the air. They can smell the lithium batteries. But one thing I'm pretty adamantly sure is that they don't know what it does. Like, they don't have any scientific understanding of the concept of if they walk in front of that trail camera, it's going to take a video or picture of them. For being a New World ape, flesh and blood ape, even though super smart ape, there is no reasonable expectation that they should be able to know what it does functionally. They can watch people set it up. They can watch people mess around with it, maybe do a little demonstration and stuff, but they're not physically going to understand that it takes pictures. Now, maybe they would if they heard people talking and understood language. Oh, yeah, we're going to set up this trail camera. It's going to take these pictures. Well, then they would have to understand what a picture is. There's a whole host of, you go down a pretty big rabbit hole for a Bigfoot to understand exactly what a video camera is, exactly what a cell phone is, what audio equipment is. Like, you go down a big rabbit hole and it doesn't end in flesh and blood. I can tell you that right now. So the more years that pass by where Sasquatch isn't caught on game cameras, you have to ask yourself, well, why is that? Because every other animal on the planet Earth basically can and almost has been captured on game camera, simply because they have no understanding of what it is. They might avoid it like chimpanzees do. Chimpanzees are notoriously hard to capture on game cameras because they would simply avoid them, simply because they did not know what it was. They just avoided the area. Of course, curiosity kills the cat, and now we have this. So why not with Bigfoot? Is it because there's the woo category? It's something to think about, something to ponder. I just thought it was interesting because we actually have one of the first cases of a chimpanzee doing it in the wild with a tool at that, using the tool, which, if Sasquatch is a highly evolved, intelligent ape, it would obviously, understandably, use tools for things. So that's why we got to show that little cutie pie. She was a little cutie pie, little female chimpanzee. All right, so we have some more legit videos to show you guys. Legit. Starting off with this. We'll save. Yeah, never mind. I'm not gonna spoil it. We'll just play them. And then we'll get to the comments.
Костер еще тепленький.
Still no signs of Kersham. He's forced to spend the night again and set up camp. Then something horrifying is captured.
You hear that?
Барабаны.
Whoa, guys! That's some legit craziness. Let's give a little backstory. Basically, I think this guy's like Russian or something. I cut this video in half. He goes out camping with his buddy. His buddy goes missing or something, and then he's like, stays at camp and hears stuff walking around camp or something. Then he's like, his buddy's still gone, so he just goes looking for him, or continues on. Then he comes across this fire, and then this starts happening.
Whoever's living in these woods seems to send them warning shots. After some time hiding, Kersham also shows up as they get away from there. Could it be that Kersham was taken by whoever's out there and then freed after Tim was scared off?
That's how legitimately I did not give a shit about this. This is a fucking dog. But it was the dog. Oh god. This is what we're gonna deal with is the content creation, spooky story with evidence that actually happened. Except for it's not real, guys. Come on. Oh yeah, he was looking for his dog, and there's like some traps out there and booby traps and some other junk. Scary music, and the camera's just set up in the most incredible spot to capture this all, coincidentally, of course. And then, well, it's arrows being shot at him, dude. That's so dangerous. Like, who would legit, do that? I mean, if the guy was standing 10 feet away off camera shooting the bow and arrow at the tree, and you're pretty confident he was dialed in, yeah, I think the guy would actually get on camera and film himself doing it and then come up with this crazy backstory and content creation, make-believe, cookie-cutter story. And then, it's legit. Because, he shot arrows at him. It's legit. Oh, and he goes down, and he's so scared. Oh, God. And he looks away. He's looking at his buddy laughing, and he rolls it out and makes sure you can see him. Watch it. Watch. He makes sure to knock down that light and that camera. Watch it. Watch him reach out for the damn camera. Come on now. Look at it. I gotta make sure it knocks over. It's hilariously stupid. Unfortunately, this is going to be what we will have to deal with more than potentially AI is the influencers making content because they're interested in Bigfoot and super scary and oh my God, this happened and the incredible thumbnail and blah, blah, blah. There's this other channel. That's all he does. He's this young upcomer. And I mean, hey, I got to give credit. He's making a hell of a business model for himself. But it's like a thumbnail of his face, super scared. Ooh, weird. Oh, something's happening. Thumbnail. And then he goes on the investigation and oh my God, everything is just exaggerated out of proportion. And that's what we're going to get. That's what we're going to get. We're going to get these young up-and-comers, influencers, content creators, literally go look up on YouTube now about content creation, what's the best way to make a channel, what's channel ideas, blah, 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 whatever. And they'll tell you. It don't no matter what the subject is. They all have a cookie-cutter application that all you really need is the niche, the Bigfoot niche, the history of Egypt niche, the whatever niche. And then you do the cookie-cutter application, and then you'll grow your channel, and then you'll get subscribers, and then you too can make up money like everyone else. And there's no life into it, especially with Bigfoot and this other stuff. There's no legit interest, no legit understanding, no integrity. It ain't about research or evidence. It's about the cookie cutter solution to making content money from YouTube. And there's a whole business about that. A whole thing about just go look up on YouTube. Just go look it all up. Over 1,000 videos of best new way or control the algorithm for you. how to play the algorithm for your favor and blah, 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 blah. So when you have all that, it's like you have shit. You have a TV dinner full of manufactured bullshit that we have to ingest now instead of like organically going out there and legitimately doing it the right way, caring about research, not having, the views and the content and what the fuck the thumbnail is going to be. Like, that's the last thing on your mind, right? That's the first thing on their mind. Okay, so there's one more. I saved it for last, obviously, because it is the best and realistically the most incredible Bigfoot footage I've ever seen. Winky wink. I'm crossing my fingers behind my back. It is 100% real, legit, the best, newest Bigfoot sighting you guys have never seen. Or maybe you guys have. I'm not sure. Let's take a look at it. I was blown away, shocked, and even jealous that I wasn't able to capture this incredible footage myself.
We mean you no harm. Would you like a snack cake?
My son's little heart is beating so hard.
Will, music.
Oh, hell yeah, brother.
We mean you no harm.
Oh, man, I was getting jiggy with that.
Would you like a snack cake?
My son's
I would.
little heart is beating so hard.
My heart's beating too, brother. I feel the passion. I feel it. I feel the passion. So passionate, so beautiful, so legit. The funny thing is, if you just take away the Bigfoot in the video, this is how some people legitly go out and research. We went to the LBL guys. There's something that definitely was around camp, 100%, and then they act like this, and they never leave camp, conveniently. But things show up to their doorstep right there, and then they do exactly what these people do. They sing, they dance, they shout. They say, "Did you hear that? Did you see that? Hey, look over there. What about behind you there? Oh, man." I get a kick and laugh out of it because that's how it seems like people research, because they're not taking it seriously. Even if they believe, I mean, come on. It's like if you're going to go researching in a spot and you planned all year to go Bigfooting, you got to like fly or you got to like drive across the country or drive a couple hours. You've been planning this all year. You're going to go find fucking Bigfoot, guys. And you get there, and the only thing you guys do is sit on your fucking ass at camp around a fire thinking that Bigfoot's around camp. You're just wasting your fucking time and money. I have no idea why people do that. I would be pissed off if I flew across the country to a spot and we were supposed to go Bigfooting, and all that host at that camp did is sit on their butt and say, "Hey, did you hear that over there? Hey, there's some Bigfoot right around here. We don't need to go that far. Let's just stay here. Stay here in imagination land, in fantasy land, where everything is make-believe and reality, real." That would be legitly pissed off. And that happens all the time. That happens all the time. All the time that happens. Because, I mean, why do you need to go out in the middle of the woods if you can just pull up to your favorite camping spot and Bigfoot's right there for you? Right? I mean, why do you need to lose a couple of pounds and get off your ass if Bigfoot's just right there? It's like you almost didn't even have to leave your couch for that one. You just had to leave your couch long enough to sit on the chair at camp, right? Come on. I think it's horse shit. And that's why changes needed to happen. Evidence needs to be had. Legit researchers need to go out with other legit researchers and not sit around at fucking camp telling Bigfoot stories for hours and hours and hours, which I'm sure they've done that on the phone. You can do that on the phone right now. Jump on a live stream, do it right now. The place to not do it, the place to not let it consume you and take your time away is at camp. Yes, around a campfire, you tell stories. But you don't let that become the only thing that you do at a camp out in that investigation. It's awesome. You want to talk about stories. You haven't met the people. Cool. But we're not going to do that all day, and we're not going to do it all night, because that's not what we were supposed to be doing, right? That's not actual Bigfoot research. That is just sitting around a campfire telling stories, and then hoping that something will magically happen around the campfire because you're telling stories, not because of anything other than, well, we found a good spot. Something always happens here, so it must be legit. Maybe in some cases that's true. I think in a lot of cases, when you look at some of the people who are doing it and their physicality, if it looks like they can't see their feet, maybe there's a reason why they're not leaving camp. And there's Bigfoot always happening around camp. I don't know. If that hurts people's feelings, oh fucking well. Enough's enough of that. It's all bullshit. All right, back to the comments, and then we're going to wrap it up and crash this plane into the side of the fucking mountain, and maybe we'll smash a Bigfoot and get some DNA evidence off of it, right? Okay. Yeah, I have to check out your channel. I can't remember. I have to read it. Who you are, if I recognize you and all that Bigfoot truth. I don't know. Maybe you're someone else I recognize. Change your channel. I have no idea. Barnaby, yeah, he has a daytime show. It's going to be live at 1 p.m. It is going to be live. So, yeah, it's actually right after the camp out. So it actually works out kind of good. So I will be able to go live on that. So, yeah, it's kind of a hard time slot, I would say. He tries to do as best he can. Yeah, he's cool. It seems he's a part of, or he somehow got into the conference that they happen in Menominee, Michigan, however you pronounce it, on the border of Wisconsin. Up there, they have a conference that is up there on the border. I think last year was like in Wisconsin, but usually it's up there. It's like an 8-hour drive for me, but I would love to go over there. Okay, using voice to text. That's why you didn't spell people's name wrong. Got it. Opinion about small town monsters. Okay. Yeah. Don't know. You don't trust Cliff. Yeah, the truth is all these Bigfoot characters, now that's a good word for it, are not dynamic enough and versatile enough to be who you want them to be. They're all letdowns. Yeah, that's the biggest thing is I experienced that when going to the 168. There are Bigfoot characters who were letdowns because I thought they would be like they presented themselves on their shows, but they're not. Like I can't remember the fucking guy's name. The show, God, it's been a while. Good old Southern Boys. Well, you know, you just had to be there. What was his name? I know Larry. It was Larry. What was their show name? The Beast TV. That's right. Oh, yeah. The other guy. I can't remember his name. Yeah, he was a big letdown. He was just a big fake. letdown. And some other people who, you know, were supposed to be legit get at the 168, and there were people who were twiddling their thumbs. And they were supposed to be team leaders, leading people out there. Like, let's fucking go out there and go. And when they're twiddling their thumbs, well, I don't know. What should we do? I don't know. Let's go out. That's too hot. Oh, that's too hot during the day. Well, I don't know. At nighttime, a lot of bugs out. Yeah, that was a letdown. Then it was like, okay, us Michigan guys are just going to go fucking out. We don't care. We don't care about team leaders. We're going to go out. Okay. See you, everyone. See you later. Oh, shit started happening. Oh, what? Yeah. Oh, yeah. You guys should probably go out then. Yeah. Something might happen if you guys actually go out. Yeah, that was a big letdown. Be good old Base TV. They're not even doing a show anymore, I don't think. I think they got all out of it because I exposed Larry and his wife Debbie as being hoaxers, fake, sawdust Beast TV as covering up their hoaxes and being not legit, just being fake ass storytellers and stuff. Yeah. Yep, we did that last year. It wasn't that hard to do. You just had a lot of people who just blindly believed them because they were good old nice people who would never lie to you about Bigfoot ever. Never, ever, ever, ever. Never. We have a good show. We're nice. We're all a family here. We're like a big old cult. No one can ever say that we're faking it. Otherwise, you're not part of the family anymore. Michael Merchant. That sounds familiar, but it's not ringing a bell with his content or what I'm supposed to have the opinion about. Name sounds familiar, but I'm not putting a face to it. Like I said, I really took a break, guys. Like I watched Nikki's show. I watched a couple of Pat's shows, but I didn't legit watch basically anything or nothing. I don't even know if there's some new stuff going on. I have no idea. I seen Brent's stuff. I seen Nikki's show. I seen Hiker Dave NE is back making videos again. So Michael Merchant, he sounds familiar. I know the name. I recognize the name, but I am not putting a face to it, and I am not putting videos, content, channel to it. I might have you on. Come on. Oh, that's why. You're Duffy, Mr. McDuffie. Okay. I mean, I would have you on. Yeah. You might ruffle a couple people's feathers, but, you know. Yeah, Mr. Duffy, yeah. Okay. Now I recognize you, yeah. Now I know who you are. I've seen you in a couple of different chaps ruffling some feathers. Actually, you were in Grizzly's show. Or no. Yeah, maybe it was. I think I was on Grizzly's show, and you showed up in the chat, and you started talking shit, and I was like trying to defend you a little bit, but then you just said another comment. I was like, yeah, I got nothing to say about that. And hey, it's cool, man. Everyone has their own opinion. I don't give a shit. As long as you don't act a fool and start being crazy out here, I mean, I really don't have a problem. Yeah. Apparently, the world's worst movie is on Amazon Prime with Ice-T, War of the Worlds. Apparently, that is the worst movie of all time. It is so. I like watching horrible movies like that. Like, they're so horrible that you just laugh and you got to make fun of them. So I probably gonna be watching that soon because I hear it's legitly the worst. Yeah, like Sonny Vader. A lot of people believe in his videos. There's a lot of this whole AI stuff is really messing with people. It's not the AI. There are legit researchers who I respect who are being fooled by, it's not the AI videos that they're watching, it is the people who are presenting the AI videos to them with a backstory or with a convincing enough, yeah, I looked into this, it seems legit. And they're influencing others to be fooled by fake AI videos or Sunny Vader videos or any of the other things. We use Steel 201 or I think they're 201s or two somethings. I don't know. Steel handheld saws. I mean, they're climbing saws. Um, or a 400 for bigger stuff, or we use the 500i. We got for trunks of trees, and then we got a 661 for some big stuff. But we don't. I don't climb. I don't carry one of those over the tree. But yeah, the 201s, the handheld climbing saws we use, trim saws. I climb with them, and then usually that 400 will get up for some bigger stuff, and then the 500s or that 661 for some big stuff. Like when we have a 9.5 foot trunk, circular trunk of like a sycamore tree and stuff. It's 9.5 foot round. Yeah, we need a big bar saw for that. Or we had this willow tree. I mean, we didn't measure it, but it was probably 7 to 8 feet around and stuff. That was a pretty big one. Had to topple over. Lot of, and it had to cut it in half and stuff because the guy's like, I don't got a saw big enough for that. They wanted to clean up all the wood and. All right, well, that's going to cost a little bit more, but yeah, a couple more hours of just cutting it in half. Yeah, I would have to say after that, my hands felt like they had just been shooken apart, like everything is ripping apart from the vibration of the saw. That was a pretty fun day. All right. I do appreciate your comments and stuff, Mr. Duffy. I know they're not always pleasing and well received by others, but I've never had a problem with answering them or being able to handle your vigor that you like to display on these channels and all that. And no, you're not going to get kicked or banned here. There shouldn't really be many people banned or kicked from here. There's only a couple, but none of the people like you or Raptor was the name. Raptor. Very highly opinionated people who people don't like to hear from. It's all good. All right, so I'm catching it up. You guys are just kind of responding to some of the comments that I did, not really asking questions, stuffing like that. Snowwalker Prime is the name of his channel. I missed that. You went out with Snowwalker. Are you saying that you went out with Snowwalker Prime and then you went camping with someone like that? I couldn't get them to go hiking until like day 5 or something. Are you saying that was Snowwalker Prime? I thought he was one of those that actually did go in the woods. I know he retired, right? He stopped doing his stuff, but I guess that would be news to me. I'm not sure. I mean, I guess I've never heard that kind of information from him or about him. Bro, I tried to get you raised and I just can't. You're like a true brother. I really do like you, man. Well, I appreciate that, Duffy. I'm not sure. Well, there's not a reason to get me riled up. And honestly, it would take a lot. It depends. It really depends. But like on here doing comments and stuff, I mean, why? You know, why should I or anyone get upset over the things that you said on here if you don't believe me or you're just talking shit or even if you're making fun of my mother? I mean, the reality is most people should just, you know, most of the people on the internet are people you will never meet, who you never met, who did not grow up in your shoes, who do not know how your life is. And so why would their opinions matter about you, especially if they're trying to rile you up and stuff like that? I mean, if I was so weak-minded to let every little thing or fly or person bug me and agitate me and get me angry, I'd probably have a heart attack, right? That's not a way to live. That's no self-control either. I would say you can go look at Mr. Wolfie the Simp Jr. over at PRT. If you want to go rile someone up or see how easy it is to rile someone up, go look at that. I don't want to be like that. I don't want to have people rile me up and get me fired and all that. But I mean, don't take that the wrong way. Don't take my niceness as weakness because I had to yell at someone on the job site because of things. So don't let my nice attitude and positive attitude fool you. If you need to be dealt with, you will be dealt with. And they will go on to do something else because it's not that big of a deal. Especially, So yeah, I don't try to let that bother me, things like that. I try to be, I'm very grateful, in control, and satisfied with who I am and what I am in my life right now. And so I really don't have enemies. I don't really have a need to get upset over at people because they don't like me or because their opinions are different or whatever. People having bad days, they might take it out on you. There are a lot of legit stuff that does upset me, more political stuff and stuff that happens out in the real world that I give my opinion about. Might get a little riled up, especially about people who hurt kids or stuff like that. I give my opinionated comment and stuff about, get a little riled up. But the Bigfoot stuff, things like that. I mean, the only real reason you get banned from my show is if you're like actively harassing people, like harassment. Not just shit talking each other because you guys don't agree with each other, but like sexual stuff, links to porn websites, harassment, stalking, stuff like that. Weird, creepy stuff towards kids, towards women, towards guys. No, we don't need any of that. Some of this influential stuff being spread into the cryptid community. Things like that. So really, I mean, there's only a couple of people I think I've actually banned on my show, and they were all like hoax, fake channels, not legit channels. Yeah. I got one asshole from Michigan who's blocked because he threatened to show up at my conference and take the mic from me. I told him I would like to see that happen. He never did it. I have him blocked because he's an alcoholic and you never know what he would actually try to do. Although if he tried to do it, it would fail spectacularly because he's an alcoholic. So Okay, yeah. Michael Merchant is Snowwalker Prime. Okay, yes. Now I understand. Yes. All right, guys. So that's the end of it. We are going to be shutting this down. Hopefully, you guys all enjoyed the return of the Lost Cryptids Conservatory. We went way over. Holy crap. We'll be doing another live show, boots on the ground, stuff like that. If you guys want to come on the show, I'll probably have a link to come on the next time. You guys can contact me and all that good stuff if you want me to come on one of your shows and all that. I also was just, I actually got invited to a lovely family's house. They actually cooked dinner for me, and we had a lovely discussion about Bigfoot. I will be posting the link to that. I will make a post tomorrow with the link to that. It's on Spotify, where you can hear me talk with these wonderful ladies and get asked a bunch of questions like I've never been asked before about the subject and stuff. It's more of like an actual interview style of kind of Bigfooting live show, a show, instead of like the typical Bigfoot story interview. Like this is kind of actually more like an interview, and kind of was pleasantly different. So I will post a link to that so you guys can take a look and all that good stuff. I was also on Vic Cundiff's Bigfoot story channel. I have two different episodes with him that we did like a month or two ago. So you guys can check out that. And one of these days I'll have Vic come on the show because he said he would. So I just got to phone him up and say, hey, time to get on the show, buddy. And so he'll come on, and should actually probably be on a couple of his other. I think he has this interview show there. He talks one-on-one with Bigfoot researchers. I should be on that one of these times. I'll put my email in the description or in the comment section right now. That is blake.442.at gmail.com. I almost said at email.com. At gmail.com. And you can contact me there. You can send me videos, stuff like that. If you want to come on the show, you want me to come on the show, things like that. No, he's not going to show his face if he comes on my show. But he did. But I did tell him it was going to be live. He had no problem with that. And I did tell him there might be some trolls from underneath the bridge that might come his way. Because he does. There's a lot of people who don't like him. He's like, yeah. It's not like it's nothing we haven't handled before, right? So maybe Bill Wolf Boy himself will show up because he doesn't like him either. Anyways, I got to throw him under the bus a little bit. I mean, he's still doing the same old stuff. I hear. I'm not really sure. I don't pay attention to him. But I still hear rumblings of stuff that goes on behind the scenes. I actually had someone reach out to me and say, "Hey, man, I believe you. I'm on your side. This fucking guy, you won't believe it." And then he tells me a firsthand encounter with Josh and his wife, and he's a fucking pig, dude. I'm sure he will come out with it on his own. And it's going to be from someone who a lot of people are going to straight up be like, wow, really? I believe him. He's not a part of the group. He's not any one of them. He's not associated with them. But there are going to be people who say, wait a minute, that's coming from you? I believe it. That's how he acted? You heard this? This is what he really did in front of you? Let's just say he's a fucking pig with no fucking manners. Anyways, I think that we're done. I need to probably stop, right? The plane is crashing, it's smoking, it's on fire. We are landing and smashing into this mountain. I should probably try to land it, right? Anyways, I appreciate everyone who's watching this, will watch this. Take their time, comment, like, and subscribe, or not. It doesn't really matter. I'm still going to be doing the same old stuff. But sooner or later, I will have a video out showing real Bigfoot, and you guys are going to watch it, whether you like me or not. Because that's the only give a shit I care about is getting real evidence to show people, to prove to some people that it's real. I was telling the truth. I got family members. I got to fucking show up, right? There's people like this is it's a big thing for me to prove it for myself, but for other people and for the world, honestly, because we're not all crazy. Stuff is legit happening, and there's a lot of fucking people who need to eat their words from what they said to other Bigfoot researchers. Other people are into this and all that. Bail out, dude. I'm putting it on. I'm jumping out the plane right now. I'll see you guys later. May God bless each and every one of you, because you are legit worth it, awesome, amazing, and he legit loves each and every one of you. See you later.